All right, good evening, everyone. So I'm really pleased to be connecting with all of you. I want to start off by saying, first and foremost, that you are not going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You are not losing your rocker. All is on schedule. So I know that the last few days have been rather intense emotionally. It's been a roller coaster ride. And I'll tell you why that is, because you know that saying, be careful what you wish for. The minute that you make an appeal to no longer play the game of the ego, the universe hears your request and it responds appropriately. And so then it's going to start to unpeel you like a banana. And I'm going to get into that banana analogy in a moment. But when you make a wish to no longer, because your soul is weary or you're tired of the game, to no longer be a part of the lower tier of reality, then the universe says, okay, your wish is my command. And so it's been unwinding and undoing and uninstalling all these mental programs, this conditioning that you had that was deeply, deeply embedded within you, within your being, within your physical body. So if things have been feeling really out of sorts or out of whack lately, then just know that you're doing something right. Because rather than delaying the inevitable, you have clearly requested that the universe show you the truth of what this reality entails. And when you go through that process, it's like an extreme makeover of your soul. It's, again, the reversal of all your impurities. It's the undoing of all these programs, and it can be very intense. The main symptom that's been coming up the last few days has been a sense of loneliness, a sense of not belonging anymore, perhaps a mild case of depression. But the main one that I want to emphasize is the sense of loneliness, wondering where your partner is, the person that you want to be in relationship with is, where your tribe is, why it is that you feel so unacknowledged, so unseen. But I want you to know tonight that you are fully, fully seen in your splendor, in all it is that you are. I see you. The loneliness can be equated to a grieving of your old identities. It's a grieving of these constructs that you identified with, of these roles that you identified with, of who you thought yourself to be in this world. And whenever we have attachments in life, that is the crux of our suffering. It's the crux of our suffering. So instead of putting a delay on that suffering, you've chosen to go through it now. It's not really that your soul is suffering or the higher self is suffering, because the higher self dwells outside of time. It's that you are burning all of these attachments. You are severing all these ties, these expectations that you had to this idea that we've been fed our entire lives, that someone outside of you is going to come and save the day, that your knight in shining armor is going to swoop in and sweep you away on this beautiful white horse. And that's not going to happen. Now, when I say it's not going to happen, do I mean that you're not going to meet your true love? You will meet your true love. And that is something that you should never doubt. You're going to have it all. You're actually going to bear witness to your dreams, realizing and actualizing. But here's the thing, right? And this is what was coming through for me the last few days. When you meet your partner, is it going to be like pulling teeth? Are you going to have to look a certain way? Like, I had a few things come up this week that made me feel insecure about my body. And it was like, but I love myself and I love my body. And I know that, I'm aging. Aging is inevitable. Things will happen. Things might start to grow, or your skin might look weird in certain areas. And granted, I'm only 37 and it's nothing that's not fixable. What I'm saying is that we have a tendency to go to that place in our minds where it's an extreme mentality where we say, oh, this is going to be such a turnoff to the person I end up with. And the truth is, your partner won't care. So, what I mean by burning all of these attachments is that we've been living a very superficial life, a very on the surface life, thinking that our partner or our significant other is going to be different than who we are. They're not. They're going to feel like home. And everything else was part of an illusory construct that you fabricated in your mind, that was rooted in unworthiness, that was rooted in inadequacy, in this sense of being unlovable. But you are lovable just as you are. And so, why is it that you're being put through the ringer right now? Well, to put it very plainly, because you placed this request to no longer be in the world, but to no longer be of the world. Am I saying this? Yes, to no longer be of the world, but still be in it as the observer, then your universe is fast tracking that process. And everything is being pushed to the surface right now. Everything is being pushed to the surface right now that you would have had to deal with in the future when you were 70, 60, 55, 80. And instead, you're dealing with it now. You're eliminating these filters that had you caught in a loop of the matrix, this loop that you've been perpetuating of, when am I going to meet that person in my life? When is this? When? And it's giving so much importance to the outer realm. So going back to the banana analogy, I found that this week there is almost like a shuffling of your mind so that you don't have a chance to think. So you're feeling a lot, but you're almost in this foggy, groggy state of mind where you don't really have time to dial in on the specificity of the story of what you're feeling. Does that make sense? It's almost like the universe was like, here, we're going to throw this your way Monday. And then Tuesday, they're like, ooh, we're going to unpeel this from this angle of the banana. And now you're going to deal with this. But it's so much that it is clouding you for your benefit, for your higher good, so that you don't get caught up in the details that you can easily obsess over, but that it's more of a generalized sense of, I'm unpeeling or I'm stripping away all these false ideologies that I had about my reality so that I can start living as the higher self, not defined by the external, not defined by the measure of which someone is going to love you, not defined by any of it. So you've been unpeeling all these layers that aren't serving you. And your guides, your higher self, they're not giving you a chance to actually sit with what happened on Monday or Tuesday, because it's an overall foggy grogginess that is disabling your thinking mind and enabling your observational technology, your ability to watch yourself as the higher self while feeling it all, even though you can't pinpoint what you're feeling. So why is it that you're feeling so strange? Why is it that you're feeling so weird? Because you're getting pummeled by different waves. You get pummeled by one wave, and then you get back up, whoop, and another one hits you from the right side. And then you kind of give up and you relinquish all control and you surrender to your greater self. So it's a lot. But it's a deconstruction phase, meaning you are ridding yourself of the mental constructs. And remember, these constructs, they can siphon your energy. They can siphon your energy because you're in a state of disempowerment when you give your authorship to what's going to happen in your future. You're literally giving your energy over to something that you hope is going to save the day, to someone that you hope is going to save the day. So it's a constant siphoning of your energy, of your life force, of your personal power. And so right now, you're undergoing a process where you're coming back home to yourself. You're realizing, oh man, I really gave too much of my power away to these ideas and beliefs that I had, that something outside of me would sustain me, when in actuality, I am my own solution. I've always been my solution. I've always been the pillow that I can lay my head on. I've always been my own lifeline. There is no one coming to save me. I want to remind you tonight that attachments, they create our suffering in life. So you can be on a high horse and then boom, there's a crash. That's how life is designed. It's impermanent. You are impermanent. Everything is impermanent. And the more that you tether yourself to these external things, thinking that they're going to be permanent, or thinking that they're going to give you life, that they're going to give you permanence, the more likely you are to suffer. So here's your homework, because this is the homework I've given myself, is to give thanks for all of it. Give thanks for all the discomfort that's coming up for you, all the uneasiness. Give thanks for all the feelings of unsettlement that you have right now. Give thanks for all of it, because this is preparing you to welcome things in without attachment, with sheer reverence. There is no promise of tomorrow. There is no promise that the person that enters your life tomorrow will be there next week. So again, we are coming back to present moment awareness. We are present with what is. And when it says goodbye for the night, we don't expect them to return tomorrow. Because when we expect that, we call in more suffering. So this is all happening for your good. It is you dissolving these attachments. The words coming in for me was, you're burning the attachments. They're in the fire. They were consuming you, unconsciously, subconsciously, consciously perhaps. They were taking the wind out of your proverbial sails. Yes, they were taking the wind out of your sails, and you didn't even know it. But what you knew deep down is that you weren't liking the way that your life was going. So you made an appeal. You said, universe, I don't want to play this game anymore. This is rough, this is tough, this is heavy duty stuff. Ooh, I like that, that rhymed. This is rough, this is tough, this is heavy duty stuff, and I want out. I'm opting out now. And the universe said, are you sure? And you probably said on a subconscious level, yes, I'm sure. I don't want this anymore. So it said, okay, your wish is my command. Now we're going to accelerate you. We're going to take what you would have confronted when you're 70, and you're going to deal with it now. And we're going to blur your mind. We're going to shuffle your mind. We're going to scramble your mind so that you don't have time to overanalyze, so that instead you receive the transformation. You receive the transformation. Does that make sense? Let me see my battery life here. Yeah. So that's what's going on, my friends. It's been a lot. So a few things I want to point out that might be going on symptomatically as a side effect of everything that you're going through right now is you're feeling uninspired, uncreative, unmotivated. You're maybe taking naps because you're processing so much information, so much data that your computer needs to shut down. And then you reboot and then you shut down again because you're processing an enormity of emotional information, if you will. But again, there isn't necessarily an emotion attached to it. That's what's so strange. It's like you've done your work in the past, like a lot of internal work. And now it's just like I'm going through the motions. I know that I'm undergoing this transformation, but I'm not able to put my finger on exactly what it is that I'm clearing or releasing. I'm hearing that the universe is freezing your assets. You might be feeling like your assets have been frozen, whatever that means, and you can't access your assets. Like you can't access your old self, you can't access your future self, you can't access any of it. You can't access your creative self. It's like your assets are frozen because you have to be present with what's here now. The other analogy I'm getting is you're on a plane, so you're on a flight, and you know you can't move because you have like 5 hours of a trajectory or of a journey, so you know you can't move. But it's not 5 hours. It's like it's this ongoing flight that doesn't end. Okay, so that's the feeling around it. Another feeling may be that you're in your mother's womb and you're about to birth yourself into your mom's pushing you into a new reality, but you have no clue what that reality is going to entail. You have no clue because you're still in the darkness, and you feel like you're about to pop out on the other side of something, or you're going to be pushed into some new existence of sorts. But again, you don't know what that's going to mean or what it's going to look like, and you can't even think about it because you're so involved right now with these different thoughts or inner dialogues that are coming up for you, and yet you're able to observe yourself. So it's the strangest feeling. You're observing yourself, feeling it all, but you can't really put your finger on what you're feeling specifically, but you know that you're feeling a lot and that you're processing a lot. And what's coming through right now is that you are becoming the higher self in your body, in acceptance of all that is, in acceptance of the temporary nature of life. Everything is temporary. Everything is always changing in its form. Everything is always morphing into another and into another. And this is about acceptance and allowance. Imagining that you're on the passenger side and life is taking you on this road trip where you get to explore the sights and bear witness to all of it and have conversations with people, but you know that you're none of it. So can you maintain this observational stance without being affected adversely to what's going on with you or what's happening to you? Can you observe it all as the higher self? While feeling what your body goes through in this human experience. Whew, that's it. I love you.